My man.
What it is, YouTube. You know who it is. It's your boy, the Moose. Let's kick it. Okay, what's the difference between XLR, TRS, and TS? Let's get into this. Okay, so this is a TS wire. Alright, we're going to go to TS wire first. TS wire is unbalanced. This is the ring, this is the hot, the ring, and the sleeve. Notice the end of it. This is the ground right here, this long sleeve. The shaft right here is the ground of the wire. This top part is the actual hot. Now notice there's only two. That means there's only two wires in this. This is why it's best to read the instructions of what you're purchasing. And if you do purchase wires, make sure you physically go to the store. Because if you buy them on Amazon or buy them from eBay, you might mistake the differences between the two of them. This is not created equally to this. There are two different wires. And as you can see, there's a big difference. They both have the tip, and they're both the hot tip, and this is the tip. But you notice there's only one ring here and two rings here. This is the big difference. The big difference is this is the hot. After this line right here, this is the ground. This is the hot. This is the cold in between here, and this is the ground. So there's a big difference. This is two wires. This is three wires. This is unbalanced. This is balanced. As you can see, this is a microphone wire. I can use this as a microphone wire. It is recommended that you could use it as a microphone wire, but if you're going to do phantom, you can't use this if you do phantom power. You have to use the XLR for phantom power. Okay. I didn't mention this one, and I'm going to get this to mention. And then you have this wire. Okay. So between, this is considered unbalanced. This is unbalanced. This is unbalanced. After 20 feet, between 15 and 20 feet, you'll start getting a buzzing sound. So this wire right here is no good. This wire right here, the difference between this wire and this wire, or this wire right here, the difference between these two wires, okay, this is a male to male. When you're running this wire, you have to get what you need. If you're running 25 feet, you have to get 25 feet of cable. If you're running 50 feet, you have to get a 50-foot cable. If you're running 100 feet, it's best to use a 100-foot cable. You can get the little jacks and stuff to go with this, but it's not recommended to run this unless you run it straight. So if you have a run for 50 feet, make sure you have a 50-foot wire. Don't try to daisy chain these. They do make the adapters for those, but you will have a horrible signal at the end. So this wire right here is good to use coming out of your DJ equipment, going into your mixer, or if you're going from your mixer to your controller, for 25 feet because it is balanced and it does send a stereo signal, as well as the XLR cable. The only difference between this wire and this wire is daisy chaining. You can daisy chain those. Now they do make daisy chains for these, but these, I got a 10-foot wire up in the garage that I use with this, and that's as far as I would go with it. I wouldn't go anything further than 10 feet with that. Maybe 7 if you're lucky. I wouldn't get over 10 feet with the RCA. RCA signal is basically, it's best to keep that signal in the house. And as you can see, this one has colors: white, red. The white and yellow, white and red are the left and right. Basically, this would be considered left. White is always left. Red is always right. So if you get red or red, basically get red and white, because your best bet is to go red and white. They do this right here. As you can see, I got the white, the other, and the red. These are 3 different wires, do 3 different things. This, if I get this signal like this, and you just, as you can see, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here, you would have the yellow, and I think the red or something like that. But what you're going to have here is this right here would be considered the video. And these were considered audio. So if you ever get a wire like this, that's what that means. Yellow is always going to be video. And these are going to be your right and your left stereo. So that's the difference between this. And these are mono wires. These aren't stereo wires. There's a big difference between XLR, TS, and TRS. I do want to say that the reason I would recommend you get XLR is because if you are going to use phantom power, you can't use a phantom power with the quarter inch. It will not work. And the reasoning behind that is because the way it's set up. The way it's set up on your receiver of the phantom power, because you have to have that ground in there. The ground goes in there with this TRS cable, but in the end you have one devoted compared to a sleeve. This right here is the ground. And the third one right down here is the ground. See the third one down here at the bottom? The bottom one's the ground. The bottom is the ground. So, that have it. The differences between the 4 wires. Now, this is a DMX wire. It is made the same way an XLR cable is made. Don't get them confused. Now, it says in the article that a lot of people use XLR as lighting, but I would recommend to get the DMX cable. The XLR is male sending, female receiving. DMX is female sending, male receiving. That's the differences between the 2 of them. So just note that. They're also different. They send different signals. So make sure that you get the proper wire for the proper job. If you're running XLR sound, you need to have an XLR cable. If you're running a light, you need to have a DMX signal. They're two different signals. So, what we've learned here today is if you're going to run XLR, you can daisy chain that forever. But note, you will get a clean signal at the end. Now, TRS wire, it's made the same way, but it's not made to daisy chain. You can get from 1 foot to 100 foot of TRS cable. You can get that. But it's recommended 100 foot is the limit. 100 foot is the limit. You could probably build your own if you want and go longer. But it's not recommended. 100 foot. But if you're going to go 100 foot, it's just best to get XLR. Now, I know that some speakers, like the speakers I had before, I had to have 100 foot, I had to have a 50 foot, I had a 25, I had a 10, and I had a 6. And that's how I ran those wires. I had all this for the speakers because if I was close, I'd use close wire. I didn't want to use the long one. So, there is a difference between TRS and TS. I hope this helps. The TS is non-balanced, and it's horrible. So I would just go ahead and go for the XLR if I was you. If your controller doesn't use XLR, well, they do make jacks, just to let you know. They do make jacks. So you can get a jack and run XLR all you want. That being said, I hope this helps. Be on the lookout for my video number 4 with lighting, and this one will be on, it'll be on a couple things. It'll be on the end of the DMX protocol, which is the receiver, the light. I'll show you how to set the light protocols for DMX on the light compared to your sound switch. And then we will also get into syncing your music. Why the music is syncing, we will do a little bit of discussion about everything else. So on this next video for this, you need to make sure that all of your music in Serato it has everything. It has to have its BPMs, it has all of it. So analyze your tracks in Serato, and then we'll get into the plugging in and showing you how to analyze your tracks off your hard drive into sound switch. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Follow what this guy got to say, and peace out. I like it. Leave a comment below. Caring and sharing. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook.